Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make another Minecraft skin statue. This time, I'm going to be showing you how to make one of the most requested skins of all time, Notch. I've put this off for so long because every time I've searched for his skin, it's came up with this one that I'm about to show you how to make, and I always figured that the skin is just a little too simple for Notch, but after further research, it turns out that I was wrong, so if you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need sandstone, black wool, dark grey, light grey, white, and finally, brown wool. Those are the only colours that we're going to be needing. We don't need very many whatsoever, so once you've got those and once you've figured out where you want to make them, I'm going to be making them right here. You're going to want to kick this off with a row of 8 black wool in a row on the floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly like that. I'll give you a second to do that. Once you have your row of 8 black wool, you want to then stack 3 more rows of 8 black wool directly on top of them. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So you want in total 4 rows of 8 black wool, and I'm pretty sure that those are supposed to be Notch's shoes, although this doesn't seem like the kind of skin that would own shoes. So once you've got your rows of 4 black wool, your 4 rows of 8 black wool, you then want to stack 2 solid rows of 8 light grey directly on top of them. So 1, 2, and 1, 2. Once you've done your 2 rows of 8 light grey, then, some detail gets added and we get to make Notch's knees. For the next row, you want to do 2 light grey in the 2 centre spots of the row, a single light grey on the left and right hand side of the row, and then fill in the rest of the space in with dark grey wool to give you something which should look like that, and those are just Notch's knees. Once you've done that detailed row, air quotes over detailed, you then want to stack 5 solid rows of light grey directly on top of what you have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as some of you may notice, that will take us to the end of the leg section. I don't know why the cow is so interested, but he is. He's gonna have to shoo. Goodbye, cow. So that, get it in frame, that is what you want for the entire leg section of Notch. Not very difficult whatsoever. 4 rows of black, 2 rows of light grey, that detailed row, and then 5 rows of light grey. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, it's time for us to move up to the torso, which honestly is equally as easy. So, coming up to the top of our legs, come over to the right hand side. It's probably easiest if we do it this way around. Come over to the right hand side and place a single brown wool on top of this most right block here. Then place a dark grey to the left of it. Then fill the remaining spaces in with light grey. Then for the next row, come over to the right hand side again, and this time we're going to be doing something similar, except you want to place 2 brown wool and then 1 dark grey, like so, and then fill the remaining space in with light grey to give you something which should look a little bit like that, and that is just Notch's shirt coming ever so slightly untucked. Now, for the rest of the torso, or just about for the rest of the torso, here's what you want to do. Once you've done that, you want to do 8 solid rows of brown wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then just fill those in. It really is a simple skin, this. I don't know why, but I do like it. I don't usually like the simple skins, especially when they've not really got anything going for them, like if they've got no 3D component, but there's something humbling about this one. I don't know what. I've got no idea. So that is what you want for the torso section so far. You've just done your 8 rows of brown wool. I'm going to give you a moment. You may want to pause this if necessary if you're still working on that. Once you've done that, it's time for us to finish this. So for the next row, on top of your 8 rows of brown wool, for the next row, place 2 black wool in the 2 center spots of the row, and then brown wool everywhere else. Then, for the 12th and final row of the torso, you want to do 4 black wool in the 4 center spots of the row, and then just brown wool in the remaining spaces to give you something which should look like that. Very simple torso, very simple indeed. And I can only imagine what that black is. I think it's his beard trickling down, or chest hair? I don't know. I figure it's the beard. I'd put money on the beard, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a chest hair. If he's got a manly beard like that, he might have chest. I'm not going to speculate. I don't know why I'm going into that weird topic. So that is what you want for the torso. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, it's time for us to do the arms. So take out your sandstone and come down to the first row of the torso, which is this row right here where we started off this brown. What you want to do is extend out either side of the statue from this row by 4 with your sandstone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the other side as well, 1, 2, 3, 4 to give you the first row of the arms like that on both sides. Once you've done that, you're going to want to come over to the right hand side of your statue. I always like to start on this arm, don't know why. And what you want to do on top of your row of sandstone is stack 7 more rows of sandstone directly on top of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then just fill them in. So you want in total 8 rows of sandstone. So of course that includes the starting row. So once you've done that, once you've got your 8 rows of sandstone, you want to, for the next row, and I'm just going to be calling this going from right to left. It's very simple, this little pattern. So starting from this right block going towards the center, you want to do 1 sandstone, 1 brown, 1 sandstone, 1 brown. That's it. Very easy, very simple. Once you've done that, all you want to do is finish off the rest of the arm with 3 rows of brown wool. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and that will just take you to the top of the shoulder. It will form that and be in line with the torso. The arm is very simple. Nothing much to that whatsoever. Honestly, he looks like he's, well, I suppose that kind of makes sense. He's kind of like a survival character. It's like he's been shipwrecked on an island or something. You know what, I only just figured that out. Maybe the skin does make sense. So that is what you want for the arm. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, you're going to want to go ahead and do the exact same thing on this other arm here. So, quite literally the exact same thing. So on top of this first row of sandstone, stack 7 more rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that will give you, in total, 8 rows of sandstone. So, just going to want to have your 8 rows of sandstone, and then we've just got the little patterning to do as we have on the other side as well. You just want to do, starting from the outside coming towards, 1 sandstone, 1 brown, 1 sandstone, 1 brown, and that's just the tattered sleeve of, I don't know what I'm doing there, that should be brown, and that's just the tattered sleeve of his shirt. So once you've done that, you then just want to finish off the arm with your brown wool, and that should just be 3 rows of brown wool. So it just wants to end up looking a little something like that. Very simple indeed. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, I just want to show you the entire front of the statue. So this is what you want to have for the entire front of your statue. Pause this if necessary, of course. Make sure that yours looks 100% like mine. Once you have reached this point right here, however, it's time for us to move around back. So quite literally come around to the back of your statue. Come down to the bottom of the feet, and I always have trouble explaining this, so I'm just kind of going to do it. So, coming out from the back of each edge of the feet, you just want to do 2 rows of free black wool, like I've done. What you then want to do, once you've got your 2 rows of free black wool, is just connect them together back block to back block, to give you something which should look like that. An upside down table or a U shape, I don't know how you see it, but that's what I'm seeing. Minus the cow. Once you've got that shape right there, what we're going to be doing is building up the entire back of the statue, very much like we've just built up the entire front of the statue. So we're just going to be focusing on these 8 back blocks right here. If I say that fast, I kind of get tongue-tied. 8 black block. Yeah, that's not happening. So you just want to focus on these 8 back black blocks. Ignore the sides for now. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. So building up onto the back, you want to do, on top of this row of 8 back blocks, 4 rows of black wool directly on top of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, to give you, in total, 5 solid rows of black wool. Once you've done that, you then want to stack a single row of light grey directly on top of your row of 5 black. Once you've done that, you want to do 2 solid rows of dark grey, so 1, 2, and 1, 2. Then, once you've done your 2 rows of dark grey, you then want to do a furthermore 3 rows of light grey. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And then, to finish off the entire back of the legs, all you want to do for the next row after your 3 rows of light grey is throw a single dark grey on the ends of the next row, and then proceed to fill everywhere else in with light grey, and that will give you the back of the legs. Very easy indeed, nothing much to that whatsoever. Let me just rattle off what you want to have done. You want to have 5 rows of black wool, 1 row of light grey, 2 rows of dark grey, 3 rows of light grey, and then that final hybrid row of light grey and dark grey. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, it is time for us to build up the back. And I have some good news, gentlemen. The back is very simple. There is nothing on the back other than brown wool. So all you have to do for the back of the statue, not including the back of the arms of course, for the back of the statue, all you have to do is 12 solid rows of brown wool. And here's the kicker, you don't even need to count out the 12 rows of brown. All you have to do is just match it up to the top of the torso. So all you want to have, all said and done, no matter how you want to do it, is 12 rows of brown wool, exactly like I have there. Very easy, very quick to do, a giant brown rectangle. So that's what you want to have. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, I imagine that you guys will still be working on that. It is time for us to move on to the back of the arms. So I'd love nothing more than to tell you that the back of the arms are exactly the same as they are on the front, but there is one key difference. You see where we have like this little patterning where the shirt's a little tattered, how it's like starting from the outside coming in, it's like sandstone, brown, sandstone, brown. Well, on the back, here's where it's different. It's brown, sandstone, brown, sandstone. So I'm going to do this quickly and then just let you guys figure out for yourself because it's really easy. So everything about the back of the arm is exactly the same except what I've described. So I'm just going to do the 8 solid rows of sandstone, and of course to do the back of the arm, all you have to do is just line up the arms. So just like you did on the front, you just want to make sure that those are starting from the exact same place, then build up your 8 rows of sandstone, and then when you get to this point right here, you'll see on the front, as I said, sandstone, brown, while on the back, brown, sandstone, brown, sandstone, and then the rest of the arm is just brown wool. Very easy, very simple. That is the only differentiation. There is nothing else to it whatsoever. And of course, if you did make the mistake of making it exactly like the front, who would notice? I know I wouldn't. So that is what you want for the back of the arm. Very simple. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, it's time for us to go and do the exact same thing on the other arm. So I felt as though I did that one a little quickly, so I'm willing to do this one ever so slightly slow. So for the back of the arm, first of all, you just want to do your first row, which you just want to line up with the front of the arm right there. And I don't think I can do this any slower. It's that simple. You just line it up with the front of the arm, then you stack on top of your first row your 7 rows to give you in total 8 rows of sandstone. And then once you've got your 8 rows of sandstone to give you that sandstone rectangle, you then want to just do exactly what we've done on the other side. So starting from the outwards, coming in, brown, sandstone, brown, sandstone. Nothing much to it whatsoever, and then you just fill the rest of the arm in with brown wool. So once you've done that, you're going to want to have something which should look exactly like this. Not complicated whatsoever, I feel. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, I want to show you the entire back of the statue before we move on to the sides. So there you have it. That is the entire back of the statue. Very easy, very quick, very simple. Once you've done that, it is time for us to move on to the sides. So again, pause this if necessary. Make sure that yours looks 100% like that. Alright, so moving on to the sides. Come over to this side of your statue and come down to the very bottom of the legs. Here's how I like to fill in the sides. I like to do it in 2 columns. I like to work on this left column first, the one closest to the back, and I just like to go directly up. And then I like to do the exact same thing on the right hand side, and the cow even wants to get involved as well. That's how much fun this is. So, doing exactly that, here's the sequence of blocks that you want to do in this left column going directly up on top of this black. So you want to do 4 black wool, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rest of the row just wants to be filled in entirely with dark grey wool. I don't know how many that is, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that it covers the leg section, so right up to the top of the legs, just below the arms. So that is what you want for that left column. For the right column now, very similar. It's not very similar as a matter of fact. What you want to do on top of this right black wool is 4 black wool, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 6 light grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then finally 1 dark grey just to finish it off. I don't know why I said it was similar, it's not similar in the slightest, although it does have the same amount of black. So that is what you want for the side of the legs. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, it's time for us to move up to the arms. So first things first, we've got to fill in the bottom of the arms in with sandstone because we don't want any holes in our statue. So you just want to do exactly that, just fill in the bottom of the arms, make sure there's no holes, and once you've done that, you'll have noticed that you now have the first row of the side of the arms, and we're going to be doing the side of the arms exactly like we did the side of the legs. So working in this left column first, going directly up, you want to do this. 8 sandstone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 3 brown wool, 1, 2, 3. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that. 8 sandstone, 3 brown wool, or just 8 sandstone and the rest brown wool. Then for the right row, you want to do 7 sandstone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It just wants to come one below that left row, and then you just want to fill the rest of the row in with brown wool, which should look a little bit like that. And that patterning actually makes sense following the tattered shirt, how it's just kind of like one brown then miss one brown miss one, goes all the way around. I can see why the back of the statue is actually different now. I don't know why I didn't think about it beforehand. So that is what you want for the side of the arm. Let's just fill in the top of the shoulder now. And all you need to do for the top of the shoulder is just fill it in with brown wool, and you need to come in by at least 3. No less than that, but you can come in more if you like. The head will take care of the rest. Reason that you need to come in by 3 is otherwise you will have holes in your statue. So that is what you want for the top of the shoulder. Let me show you what you want for the entire side of your statue. And that is what you want. Very easy indeed. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, it's time for us to move all the way over to the other side and do exactly what we've done on that side. So just like I said there, all you have to do for this side of the statue is exactly what you've already done on that side, which just quite literally entails looking directly over and just copying what you have on that side. So as you can see, I just looked directly forward, I didn't look at my plans, and I've just copied what I had on the other side, and lo and behold, that is exactly what I want to have. So moving up to the arms now, just copying exactly what I have on the other side, just looking directly forward and copying the blocks. Yep. That's all you have to do, and you will end up with what you want. No fancy instructions to follow. And of course, remember to fill in the top of the shoulder by at least 3, no less, more if you like. So that is what you want to have. Let me show you what the entire side of the statue wants to look like once you've finished it. So that is the other side of the statue. I did that very quickly, but honestly, you just have to copy exactly what you have on the other side of the statue. So that's what you want to have. Pause that if necessary, if you're still working on that. However, if you're not still working on that, if you have indeed reached this point right here, in which you've just finished both of the sides, you've done the entire front, the entire back, and entire sides of the statue, it's time for us to do Notch's head. So come round to the front of your statue and come up to the very tippy top of the torso, so right here. What you want to do, on top of the torso, on top of the 8 original blocks that I'm hovering over right now, is you want to stack a row of 8 sandstone directly on top of them, like so. What you then want to do, once you've done your row of 8 sandstone, is stack another row of 8 sandstone directly in front of your row of 8 sandstone to give you something which should look like that. What you then want to do for the next row, and this next row is going to be the first row of the face, what you want to do for the next row is directly in front of your row of sandstone again, you just want to do a single sandstone on the ends of the row, like that. And then you just want to fill the rest of the row in with black wool, and that is just Notch's goatee. So that is what you want to have, and that row should be overhanging the front of the statue by 2, which is exactly right. So once you've done that, it's time for us to build up Notch's face. So we're going directly up on top of this most outward row right here, the one with the black in it. And here's what you want to do for the next row. You just want to copy what you have. So all you want to do is just have a repeat of row number 1, like so. Then, for the next row, a little different, you want to do 4 white wool in the 4 center spots of the row, like that. Then, you just want to do black either side of the white, and then you just want to do sandstone to finish off the row, like so. Then, for the next row, you want to stack black wool where you have white on the previous, and then you just want to do sandstone everywhere else. Like so. Then, the next row just wants to be entirely sandstone, so like that. Then, for the next row, slightly different, we've got Notch's little weird beady eyes. You just want to do a single sandstone on the ends of the row, and then a single black coming in towards the center next to the sandstone, and then sandstone everywhere else. Then the next 2 rows and the 2 final rows of the head just want to be entirely sandstones. So once you've done that, you should end up with something that should look a little bit like that. That face is kind of creepy, look at it. So I notice it's getting slightly dark, so I'm going to cut this off in a little second. Pause that if necessary, of course. That is what you want for Notch's entire face. It's very easy. Once I'm back, we're going to finish off filling in the rest of the head, which is really, really simple. So back in a second. Alright, so once you've done Notch's entire face, it's time for us to build the rest of the head. So come round to the back of the head, where we have this row of 8 sandstone that started this all off. And what you want to do is extend back this row of 8 sandstone over the back of the statue until it overhangs the back of the statue by 2 rows. Very similar to how the front of the head overhangs the front of the statue by 2 rows. So just to give you a side view, this is what you want to have once you've done that. And once you have laid the base of the head, which is exactly what we've done there, I can tell you this. The rest of the head just wants to be filled entirely in with sandstone blocks. So once you have done the base of the head, you just want to do exactly that. Just fill in the rest of the head entirely in with sandstone. And it's really up to you how you want to accomplish this. I always turn the heads into giant cubes and then just fill in the faces individually. But of course you feel free to use whatever method you're most comfortable with. This is what I'm going to be doing. So, yeah, the head really is just entirely sandstone after this. There's no details in it whatsoever. There's no ears or anything like that. There's nothing on the top of his head. It's kind of weird, actually. I do question how he can actually hear. I figure Notch is bald in real life. I don't actually know. It's got to be a reason that his skin's bald. Unless his hair was burned off from sunburn when he was on the desert island that he must have been marooned on. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. But it should end up looking exactly like this once you've finished it. I don't really need to show you the whole thing because it's just a giant block of sandstone, but that didn't really take long whatsoever. And of course, once you have reached this point right here, there really isn't anything else to do. Actually, there kind of is. So, once you have done the entire head section, the tutorial is officially over, but there's just one more thing that I added, just because I thought it'd add a little something to the statue. It really is the smallest thing. So I figured that this little piece of black here on the torso is just his beard, and all I did was I just raised it out by 1 block, just to make it look a little more beard-like. Now, if that turns out to be chest hair or something miscellaneous that I just don't know what it is, you know, I probably wouldn't raise it out, but just assuming that that black on his torso, on his upper chest, is his actual beard, I think that it just looks a little better raised out like that, but that's just me. Anyway, once you have reached this point right here, however, once you've just finished filling in the head and possibly adding in that little bit of the beard if you like, the tutorial is officially over. There is nothing more to show you. Unfortunately, this is all there is to do with Notch. Now, whilst I was looking, I did see some other concepts of some Notch skins. I saw one that was wearing a fedora, which I don't particularly like, I'm not too fond of fedoras. But I did see that, and I wonder whether that's actually like the next step up. I don't know whether he has multiple skins, but if you guys could let me know that, if there is another skin. But honestly, when I was searching for it, this is the only thing that came up. This is Notch's skin, so it's not too bad. It's got a certain charm. It might be the face, honestly. I think it might be the eyes. I think that's what's getting me. But otherwise, very simple skin, very entry level. I hope you guys had no problems making this whatsoever. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, maybe you should think about subscribing. I have plenty more stuff like this on my channel. I have tutorials ranging from YouTube statues, skin statues, houses, pixel art, the list goes on. Thanks for watching.